Many of you have been asking questions about living and traveling on the road full-time with your family.
In this series, we are continuing to answer those questions.
Hey everybody, I'm Garrett.
And I'm Carolyn.
And we're Diary of a Family.
And we're living life intentionally with you.
Last week we talked about picking your dream rig.
This week, we'll tell you how to take steps in transitioning from your sticks and bricks house into your RV living.
This process of your journey to becoming full-time is very important.
There's lots of decisions and planning that you have to do now that you've decided to hit the road with your kids.
If at all possible, don't rush things. Do your research, figure out what is best for your family, but don't rush it.
Ask lots of questions, watch lots of YouTubers. If you feel like you need a little bit of extra help, go ahead and drop us a line at connect@diaryofafamily.com. Here are some of the questions that you're going to need to ask yourself. What are you going to do with your sticks and bricks house now that you've decided to move on from there? Are you going to keep it? Are you going to rent it out? Are you going to just sell it like we did?
Yeah.
That was quite a long process for us. It took us a year to get our house ready and on the market. It was a good decision and helped us get out of debt.
Now, keeping your home could be a source of income for you, as you can use it for rentals, you could use it as an Airbnb. There are many options for you to turn that house into a source of income. But it will take time and planning to make sure all those pieces are in place before you hit the road.
Another thing to think about is when you're going to actually pull the plug and buy that RV. For us, we went out shopping for a good 5-6 months before we were ready to actually do it.
Yep.
And we finally signed an agreement about 2 months before we planned to have our house on the market.
We are very fortunate the RV dealer that we bought our rig from allowed us to keep the RV on their lot for a month, which was very helpful.
And then we brought it home to our house and it sat empty for a month, just kind of giving us energy and passion and desire to get this house on the market and sold so we can just leave. And then we did spend another month moving in and getting used to living in it before we actually pulled out.
We took a multi-step process to transition into full-time RV living, but some people didn't really have that option. Kent and Lisa from Living Light RV had a little bit of a different experience. Let's let them explain.
Hey, Garrett and Carolyn asked Lisa and I about our downsizing experience and a few other things, of how we got from a big house with lots of kids into an RV with no kids and no stuff.
Getting rid of the kids was the hardest part.
That was. That's right. And that's a book. I'm writing a book about how to get rid of your kids. Okay, but that's another thing.
Really? Are you writing a book?
Maybe. The question that Garrett and Carolyn asked us to accomplish is, how fast could somebody say, okay, I'm going to do this and go?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
It took us a year because what we did is we actually sold our house. We had the idea, we sold our house, and that was quick. That was only about, 2 months?
2 to 3 months.
Yeah. And then we moved into what we call the funnel, which is basically a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
So we had to downsize the 4-bedroom house to fit into the 2-bedroom apartment. And then we had 12 months to downsize from the 2-bedroom apartment into the RV.
And it wasn't that big of a hurry then, because we could have garage sales or sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace, those kinds of things, and mentally downsize too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how long it took us, but I'm telling you, you could do it a lot faster.
And we had to digitalize a whole bunch of stuff too, so that took us some time.
Oh, I will say some of that digitizing, like scanning photos and stuff, that happened after.
Oh, true.
I brought a few boxes of photos, and I did some last summer when I was in our home-based town. So, yeah.
But if you get the RV and you have to get into your RV from your house, you could do it fast.
You know, I remember Josh and Kaylee from the Freedom Theory, they did it really fast, like within a month, I think. They had the idea, from the idea to getting into their rig was like 30 days. So.
You know what it takes? It takes motivation.
It does. It takes motivation, it takes teamwork.
Yes.
It takes energy.
Yep. And it takes also the thought process of, this is going to be emotional, but I'm up for the challenge.
Yeah. I think one good tip to tell you, if you are wanting to do this really fast, like if you want to go like from the idea into your RV, stay within 30 days, a good way to do that would be to get a storage unit or a storage locker and put the things that you're not ready to part with into storage, and then come back a year later and deal with those things.
Or 4 months or whatever. But be prepared to deal with those things.
Yeah. And it might just be a temporary storage thing, but it might help you, get downsized faster.
And I know some people, they have a 4-year plan.
Some people can, and that's great. If you have a 5 to 10 year plan, you're like, I'm gonna retire on this day, you've got lots of time. So good luck with all of your downsizing, and it's such an exciting time to be ready to go into your RV life. So all the best. I'm Lisa.
My name's Kent, and we're living light RV.
We're grabbing life by the tail, and you guys go have fun with your downsizing.
Great experience in how they decided they were going to declutter and get rid of things. For us, we knew we had a year and we were going to just all out do whatever we could to get things moved out of the house, sell it, and move right on into our trailer.
So this item was such high quality when we bought it that things started falling off. So we decided, instead of trying to fix it up, to keep it away. We have a burn pile. We're gonna do a burn. Let's go ahead and just put some fuel on it.
Emma, will you take Eddie by the hand? Come on, this way. Come on, Bug. He's like, I want to go around. Back up!
Back up!
Oh! Come here, Bug.
Mommy.
Come here, Eddie. Come here. Come here. Whoa! Eddie screamed like, ah! Every time you did it.
Yep.
Look at that, Eddie Spaghetti. We do know of other people who have been renting and knew their lease was coming up and had that planned into it.
If you are deciding to start this lifestyle, start decluttering early. Don't wait for everything to get lined up before you start getting rid of things. Because even if you end up not going full time, you will have gotten rid of unnecessary items that have been taking up space in your house.
If you're in the situation where you need to offload things very quickly and get out of like an apartment or a lease, we know of at least one couple that were able to do it in a month's time, where they were able to get rid of everything they owned and move into their RV in a total of 4 weeks.
That's really fast.
We say all this to remind you all that decluttering is key.
Yes. In this process of transitioning to full-timing with your family, make sure to keep your kids excited about the next chapter that they are about ready to embark on.
You're planning and you're thinking and you're learning and you are just doing all this research, but that's not at the front of their minds. You don't want this to be kind of a shock to them. So talk to them about how they need to get rid of clothes, get rid of toys, but it's because you're going to go on this grand adventure and explore and experience, and start asking them, what do you want to do when we're on the road, living a life where we can go and see and do and experience.
You can also get them involved in the process. Let them help you declutter. Your kids can help you in multiple ways, including helping remodel the house if it's needed.
Getting it ready to sell, yep. Helping you run a garage sale.
There's lots of things your kids can do to feel a part of this transition period. We found it helpful for our transition into full-time RVing to set a date. Now, the date doesn't need to be a hard date unless you're like your lease is up or something like that, but have a goal for where you want to be into your rig and on the road.
Remember that everybody's story is going to be a little bit different, so give yourself grace, be able to be flexible. Traveling around the United States, you have to be flexible when weather comes up and your RV spot falls through. So being flexible in that process of transitioning is key.
Good practice.
Do what works for you and your family. So whether your lease is up and you have to do a quick move, or you've been planning this for years, remember to enjoy the process. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience that you and your family are going to go through, and you don't want to miss any of the lessons that you are learning with you and your kids.
We understand that the change is hard, but it's really worth it for all the adventures and all the freedom you can have in this RVing lifestyle.
We wish you the best of luck in your transition to your RV lifestyle. Next week, tune in as we go through the 5 essential RV equipment, gear, accessories that you will want before you hit the road.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And as always, live life intentionally.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. During this whole process, you want to make sure to keep your kids excited about the next chapter in their adventure. The kids love...
Get it out of your system, right?
The thing is like, you don't want me to talk with my hands. Other people encourage you to talk with your hands.
Well, except that you do it too much because it was up in front of my face. So it's okay to use your hands a little bit to emphasize your point.